Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Right, and that could definitely be part of the problem. You know, and that, Eric, that could just be all it is. We could just have rubbed someone the wrong way. Now they're not putting us out there anymore, and that could just simply be the end of it.
Or they probably got like their army of trolls or people of like a particular political ideology, whether they're like hard right or hard left, you know, rallying their troops to like mass report you to the point that they're not only shadow ban you, but possibly it's almost like they're scouring through all your live recorded shows trying to see if you or somebody else on there had said something that they deem like highly offensive or just too politically incorrect to where they could try to get you permanently banned.
Eric, and I was just going to ask you that exact question. Do you think mass reporting would have anything to do with that?
I would think so. More than likely, that would probably be a yes and no question, but it would really depend on who's doing the mass reporting and, and if they're getting paid to do this stuff.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
But there are a lot of things we may never truly know.
Right. Eric, I appreciate you asking or answering all the questions I got, man, because I know you've been here for a while and I seek out answers from
I've been here April 7th, believe it or not, will be 3 years I've been on Podbean continuously. Of course,
so you
got
here like right before we got here then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But less than a year before you arrived, Jester, because I was here like when you had other big names here on Podbean, like Nonsense Password, Kai from the Proudly Radical podcast, to the Pod God rest his soul, by the way, and like the Old Man's Podcast show when he was still associated with the Dreadnought 928 podcast, Glenn when he did like the Random Couple show, and and then the Slightly Serious show, which I've been proud to be a part of since its beginning. John DeVito and Milk Dog and a host of other names, but then I know you came along, and then you also had Russ with the Outside of Normal podcast come along, and then Solid Blue Sister about a year and a half later, right. And a few more still popping up.
There's been a lot of shows, man, that have came and gone. A lot of people that have came and gone. Eric, again, I appreciate you answering everything for me.
Well, and VOP USA Radio was another podcast that came along and then mysteriously disappeared. And for a while there, me and James enjoyed a good relationship with them. But then eventually, me and James, along with Jeremy and John DeVito, we kind of caught on to what Dan and some of his friends were doing behind the scenes. And when we caught on to it, it's like they got scared and they threw us under the bus. And it's like we've not seen and heard from them ever since, but it is what it is.
Right. You know, and one thing I would like to point out too, before I ask you this next question is, remember how we were getting those trolls making inappropriate names?
Oh, yes. I mean, okay. They kind of disappeared for a while.
Right. I haven't seen them around. I haven't seen them in here. I haven't seen them in any other people's shows. I haven't seen that around. So I'm wondering.
I think they probably got the message to back off with the vile, malicious content.
Right. So, Eric, before we continue any further here, I got to ask, dude, opinion on 15-minute cities, and what do you know?
I've not really heard about those and haven't really done much studying on them. And as a matter of fact, I would have to study up more on it.
I got you. I get what you're saying. Totally cool. Well, hey, Eric, dude, I thank you so much, dude, for calling in. If you want to hang out on the line, you're more than welcome to, dude.
Right. Well, and I imagine probably at the top of the hour, you'll probably might get other people join the conversation, including some other regulars and some people you haven't heard from in a while.
Right. So so we're keeping this to a 1 hour episode today, and we'll let people call in about 10 minutes here. We'll start allowing call-ins.
Jake, we're SafePrep is awaiting administrator approval on Citizen Social.
Don't do it.
Well, you heard the man. Now I can't.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it would hurt for us to have an extra admin on there, honestly, especially if he's going to put the time in. I've been slacking lately about putting my time in over on my Citizen Social. I really have been. I was good for posting a few things a week in there and keeping up with some things, but I've really slacked off lately. But I've kind of slacked off of everything lately, you know.
So have I. I've been building a wall and a door.
Who builds a door? People buy doors.
Jake.
Well,
Jake.
I'll do it. Have you seen these hands? I'll build anything.
With these hands. So everybody that's new here, that's coming in, welcome in Adam, Carolyn, Mr. T, Cindy, Angela. I think I welcomed Eric already because he's in here. Scooter, Rifle, and SafePrep. Yeah, welcome in, everybody. If anybody has a thought on the 15-minute cities, we'll get the call-ins coming in kind of early here just because I want to kind of keep this going in that direction. I know I went off on a really bad tangent there. But if anybody wants to contribute to this, you're more than welcome to do so because we got about 22-ish minutes left. And I do got to say, Jake, I think there might be a vast connection to the Dollar Generals, the Dollar Trees, the Family Dollars, all these things that are going out, right?
Well, I can tell you for sure, I don't think Dollar General is a part of that, even though it seems like they put a Dollar General in just about any open field that they can find.
Every 15 minutes.
Half of them are closed, y'all. It's okay.
So that company was on a downswing for about the last 10 years. And 5 or 6 investors came in and bought the company for like $10 million. And then they just started flipping it. But they've put in thousands of stores and invested millions of dollars to revamp and continue to expand because they want to compete with Walmart directly.
Are you looking for something kick-ass to add to your closet? Reaper has the hookup for t-shirts, hoodies, button-ups, hats, beanies, and plenty of other badass products. You can check out Reaper Apparel Company at www.reaperapparelco.com and use code DOOM10 for 10% off. Jester only stands behind brands he believes in, and Dan at Reaper Apparel has a mission, and Jester is on board. Go check out www.reaperapparelco.com today and use code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire order. Why be a sheep when you can reap? Use code DOOM10 for 10% off at www.reaperapparelco.com today.
You know, and so Angela brings up a good point. I'm 20 minutes from any city, so what about that?
You're screwed.
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering how that would go, if it would be a situation where if you were outside of these 15-minute cities, would you just be stuck?
Well, they're currently implementing this in Europe in some places, and it's not going over very well. You have to get authorization to go outside of your zone. It's weirdly reminiscent of
Seeker.
like the Hunger Games. What?
Oh, he was talking. He's welcomed in Seeker. Welcome in the people that come in the room. What's up, dude? Welcome in.
Oh, I thought he called me a name at first.
No,
I was ready
I
to be
think Seeker's
offended,
another
man.
name
Let's
I'm
do
sure
this.
y'all both would like, along with Raccoon 6.
Oh, yeah, we know Raccoon. We know Raccoon real well. So, no, but Jake, you know what this really reminds me of? When the 15-minute cities things first came up, it reminded me of the non-livable zones you saw on the U.S. map for the Agenda 2030 shit. That's what it reminded me of, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to condense everybody down into these smaller areas, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you're right, Cindy. We've been talking about this stuff for years. I mean, Cindy's one of the OGs that's been with me since I was on TikTok for, I think she's been around the longest, and she knows I scream about this stuff all the time and have been for years. And my big bugaboos are the 15-minute cities.
What'd you call me?
I called you a gabagool.
Oh, okay, gabagool.
But I've been screaming about these 15-minute cities. I've been screaming about central bank digital currency. I've been screaming about both of these things collectively for a very long time.
Right.
And it's coming to fruition. You know, I don't know. All I can do is talk about it. You know, I wish I could affect more change on a grander scale, but I can only affect the micro. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about the macro. So I just try to inform the best I can, and I hope that message gets spread out. But my problem is that I'm always talking about things ahead of time, and I tread dangerously close on this line of I'm not any like some prophet or some guru or something like that. I'm not predicting the future. I'm just looking at the news that's coming out and unfolding, and I watch what other countries do. I mean, look what France is doing right now. What are they doing?
I don't know. I haven't been following what's going on in France. What's going on in France?
The entirety of France is burning down, my friend.
Okay, like their government? Like what's going on?
The people are protesting their government currently, and everything is shut down. Trash is piled up on the streets. It is a consider it a civil war, man. They're fighting their government hard. Like worse. It's probably what's happening in France right now is probably the biggest revolt that has happened in recent time. And the reason they're doing it is because their government decided to up the retirement age 2 more years. And they knew how that would affect their economy and how it would affect the general populace. And the people said no, and they were going to try to force it through. But I don't think that they anticipated this kind of a revolt.
And about the only place you're seeing that is on the short form media, social media platforms. You're not seeing that on the mainstream media. So if you're looking at what other countries are doing, you're going to have to look somewhere else other than mainstream media, because I feel like we're cut off sometimes, Jake, from what's really happening all over the world right now.
Don't worry about what other countries are doing. Just eat ice cream.
It's about time you chime in. You've been sitting over there quiet this whole time. Finally get a guest in the studio. Don't say shit. All right.
But no, man, they're on a full scale revolution there, and it will come here. It'll come here, you guys. I don't think that a lot of people understand how dangerously close we are to an inflation disaster from happening, especially once speaking on like the monetary scale, people are converting away from USD, and USD's been the main currency that's been backed by oil for like the last 50 or 60 years. And that money has dictated the economy of the world, essentially. And various countries are coming together and deciding that they want to get away from the dollar and get onto the yuan. I think that's how they pronounce it, the Chinese dollar, basically. And if that happens, with enough backing and enough countries all deciding to go that route, that will send our inflation literally to a disastrous route. And we're like knocking on the door of this, and a lot of people are just vastly unaware.
Do you have enough food in your pantry for when disaster strikes? Go to www.readywise.com and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire food order. ReadyWise offers long-term food storage items such as chicken and beef that last up to 15 years. But that's not all. Go to www.readywise.com and use our code DOOM10 for 10% off of organic food as well. Offering chili, pasta, and soups, they have you covered. Did we mention they have fruits? Bananas, blueberries, strawberries, and apples, just to name a few. With many more food options for your home, car, or bug out bag, ReadyWise has your six. Go to www.readywise.com now and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off.
So China just wants to take control of everything, so it would make sense that they're trying to institute their currency, right?
Yes, of course.
But I saw a question here I wanted to answer that Jelly threw in here. She says, do you think it's just another way for the government to make money? And I got to ask Jelly, what do you mean? You mean the 15-minute cities? Like, would it make them make more money? I don't know where that was going when we had that conversation. Or when you asked that question, I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah. Definitely what part of this do you think that's going to make them make money? I mean, let's put it this way. At the end of the day, the government seems to always win anyway, and I think a lot of people know that, and that's why they don't stand up. That's why they don't fight back.
Well, if you're not allowed to leave without permission, then we're going to tax you this, and then they can raise that, or sorry guys, we haven't been able to restock the grocery store that you guys.
So I'm wondering if this was a thing to actually happen. Think about this, and I just want to throw this out there and play devil's advocate for a second. The airlines control a lot of what goes on in this country, and the government fully funds those airlines. There's not an international airport every 15 minutes, right? So what would you do in that instance? You got to get a permit to go to the airport?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you simply start putting people on no-fly lists? And it's like, oh, you don't have a reason to go anyway.
Well, for some places that have proposed the 15-minute city idea and have started exploring it, what they're allowing you to do is have a pass to go outside of your zone or your area, but you can only do it so many days out of the year. Some places, they picked like the number 178 for some reason. So let's just say 200 days out of 365. And once those 200 days are up, you're done with that. But it's everything that I've read about it, it just screams absolutely no to me. But also when I know what I would do in that situation, which is I wouldn't listen, and I'd probably just be turned into a criminal because of it. But I look at the last 3 years of compliance, and that scares me because I know that people will do the same thing here that they did the last 3 years, and they will comply because they want to go to a concert, or they want to travel, or go to that vacation that they booked, or build that new house, or yada, 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 yada. So they'll just say, okay, as long as I can have my stuff, I don't care about what happens to everybody else. Go ahead and do it. And then they'll just comply.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. And you know what they'll probably do is they'll probably paint this as a political divide thing too. Like, oh, this area over here is a bunch of MAGA people, so we don't want them in our city anyway. Keep them on the outskirts, things like that.
The World Economic Forum had some really good articles online about why 15-minute cities are a great idea.
Did you just register a thought? Let's hear this. I'd like to hear what they have to say.
No, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know. And to Jake's comment there that everyone would just comply again, I think if they tried some of what was done during the COVID pandemic, that there would be a lot more frustration and resistance with that than there was the first go.
True.
To a degree, Jake.
But how many people do we all know collectively that sat there?
Yep.
They sit and they complain without ever doing.
Exactly.
This would be the same thing.
All right. Jelly says she wrote a reply to that. Yes, the talk here, if you want to leave this 15-minute city, you have to ask and pay too. Okay. So that's what Jelly meant. The 15-minute city, I guess, is a ploy for the government to make money to have, so you'd have to pay to leave, right?
That's stupid.
Jelly's not stupid, Jake. Jesus.
I didn't say Jelly's stupid. I said,
I think it's much less like this. Something like this here is much less likely to happen than some of the other stuff. Like some of the stuff Jake was talking about a while ago with the central bank digital currency and some of that other stuff. I think that's.
I don't know. No, dude, I think that the 15-minute cities here they absolutely have potential to happen, but I don't think it's going to be on this every single city everywhere scale it'll start within the cities, probably slowly move out to the rural communities and then go from there. Right.
This is the same way it always works. It'll start in the blue cities where there's just a massive amount of people just squished into one place, and it'll splinter out from there.
I agree 100%. And again, guys, go when you have the time, look up the Agenda 21 map. Just look that up. Put that in Google, Agenda 21 map. And they've already mapped this out, the non-livable zones in the city. And they already have a plan in place to put this country on lockdown, and they've had it for years. Why would you even need that map? And what's really crazy is if you then after that go to Google again and look up the FEMA maps, they damn near line up.
Also, if you go look at the number of COVID deaths, an increase in COVID deaths also lines up with those zones as well. The unlivable zones within the U.S., they lost more people to COVID during the pandemic than any of the others did.
You know, it would be a great tack to make people move from an area you don't want them to be in. Vinyl chloride in the water or latex in a water supply.
I was going to say, just dump a train.
You think there's a bunch of high up guys that are running the world that runaway train hit and they're all putting bets on what city it's going to stop in?
It's some logistics guy that's doing all this, you know.
How many of you guys have came across a train or been stopped at train tracks and just wondered in the back of your head
if it's going to get derailed?
At the train and you look at the wheels and see if anything's sparking, and you're like, "Am I necked? Am I?
Right?
Is this where I go?"
No. So I about shit my pants one day, man. I was coming home from a job I was working, and I didn't know this, but there's train engines that roll around that have grinders on the bottom of them, right? Mm-hmm. And the little intersections where, the pavement meets the tracks, they go through and they grind that area clean. So I'm coming through the woods. It's dark. Nothing's lit. I just see all these sparks in front of me. I had no idea what was going on because I didn't know those existed. They're a thing. They absolutely are. And I about shit myself thinking there was something bad going on.
I just remember always being told as a kid that I wasn't allowed to put pennies on the railroad tracks because I would crash a train. And now I look back on that and I just laugh. That's a penny. That's not vinyl chloride.
It puts zinc into the atmosphere, Jake. You can't be smashing pennies.
Oh my God.
We have to protect the environment.
I'm so not green.
But no, I mean, I know we're joking around about this and we're kind of screwing off, but very serious topic. If they started poisoning people out of areas, that would be a way to, sorry it happened to you. You got to go. It's not our fault. It's no one's fault, but you can't be here anymore.
I'm just going to take a note from my neighbors to the south, and if they ever implement the 15-minute cities while I'm still limber, all I can say is I'm going to be hopping some fences illegally, and I'm just going to go wherever I want.
Fire is one of the most basic essentials for survival. Whether you're camping, hiking, or preparing for disaster, Blackbeard has your six. Go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DOOMSDAY for 10% off your entire purchase. Blackbeard offers stormproof matches, plasma arc lighters, fire starters, and ferro rods, all of which are great for your bug out bag. Once again, go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DOOMSDAY for 10% off your entire purchase.
You know, if it's true that they're doing that to get people where they want them, something that Jake says a lot is there really are no coincidences.
True.
Nope, there's not. I mean, and at this point, I mean, it's almost like, okay, what's coming next, right? I mean, they're poisoning
Aliens.
That was 2 weeks ago, Jake.
Wait, we had them 2 weeks ago?
No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was aliens. Before that, it was what was it? I can't even remember. So much to remember. the train derailments and the chemicals, and past week and a half it's been social media. And
well, what's the next piece on your bingo card for end of the world game?
Terrorism.
That hadn't happened. There you go.
That's the next one.
Let's
we haven't had a good terror attack in a while, guys.
Let's try to unite the country.
Try to think of it in terms of if you were in charge of the planet, what would be the next disaster that would happen? Let's think about this logically. Who would be the next terrorizer?
China
or Russia, you think?
I think China or Russia, or combine both in a digital attack.
Speaking of, what happened to all the war in Ukraine news? Where'd that go?
It's buried by TikTok.
Yep.
Oh, and we got Raccoon 6 in here, but real quick before we let Raccoon talk, guys, I wanted to point something out that I thought was hilarious. So all these people that are like, we need to support TikTok and this is bullshit and blah, 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 right? All this crap. You guys do know that TikTok is China, and their money's now going to fund Russia against Ukraine as we're funding Ukraine against Russia. And nobody's talking about this. Mm-hmm. Nobody's saying shit about it. Mm-hmm. And it is hilarious. Right to free speech as everybody, if anybody has an I stand with Ukraine thing on their fucking profile as they're supporting TikTok, you need to slap them in the face. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Raccoon, what's up, dude? Welcome in.
Hey, guys. You know, there was a train accident in North Dakota this morning.
I did not know this.
Toxic chemical spill.
Looking it up right now.
It was in Richland County. It's all over the daggone social media, like Rumble and stuff.
Now, does it say what they were hauling? Because I'm getting
No, it didn't say what they were hauling. It just said there was toxic chemical cars that collided. It didn't say how many were broke open or nothing. But that was like, I spotted that about 5 o'clock this morning.
So they collided, like two trains?
No,
like
it derailed and the cars bunched up. Okay,
okay.
Derailment. They don't know how many cars were damaged and leaking, but there was one this morning. They didn't say how many cars. They didn't say what damage was. They didn't say anything about what they were hauling. Just said that they were toxic chemicals because of the signage that they post on the cars.
So what's interesting is it says that they're going to let the toxic materials freeze to make it easier to clean up.
It's thawing out up here.
And it says some of this, I guess, was this Sunday night this happened?
I guess it was Sunday night, but it was like early in the morning.
Okay, now this is saying, because there is like one little piece in here that says petroleum. But last time I checked, most petroleum products do not freeze.
No.
Oh, so I don't know. There's probably some bullshit there.
Why don't they just set it on fire? That'd be cool, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
see
harmless.
that cloud all the way to New York City. It'll linger throughout the Midwest.
Totally harmless. You're not going to paint anybody's cars.
You know, I have a secret to tell you guys. I figured at some point when all this shit started going wrong and happening, someone would have came to our group and said, hey, I know I talked shit before, but I want to join up with you guys now. You were right. Where are all those people at now?
I don't know, man. I just buy more chickens.
Still hiding in the basement.
Yeah, probably hide in the basement. I like Jake's response, but I don't know, man. I just buy more chickens.
Every time something happens, boom, another chicken. It's like the Breakfast Club. Every time something happens, I get a chicken. Boom, you want another? I'll give you another. I'm not afraid to give you another one. Boom, train, chicken. Boom, more eggs.
Gotcha. So we have 2 minutes left here before we're out of here. I never get SafePrep in the studio, so
I'm here all week. We can do a show anytime you want to.
Fine, Jake. 2 minutes, dude. Take us out.
Everybody, thank you for being here. I hate Podbean. They kind of suck. So I don't know where I want to spend my time. It's definitely not on TikTok, but I'm going to spend more time on my Citizen Social probably. And I made a post on Clapper because I was getting yelled at for not, and I posted a great video that you all should watch because it is hilarious. I can't talk about this for 2 minutes because I'll end up telling you what the video is, and then you won't go watch it.
Who yelled at you?
Want to be a guest on the show? Email itsdoomsdaypodcast@gmail.com. That's itsdoomsdaypodcast@gmail.com.
I didn't yell at him.
You totally yelled at him. You yell at me about Clapper all the time.
I do yell at you about Clapper all the time.
He yelled at me really bad.
I said, I'm just over here waiting for you to make some content, dude.
Yeah, and then you called me and you said, you better make Clapper videos. And I said, okay. And
I was far more angrier than that. You know that.
I was trying to make it sound really nice. Okay.
I was breaking shit in the background, throwing shit through the wall. I even threw a fuck SafePrep in there.
There's holes in every wall in the studio.
You don't want to know what those holes are for.
Those are the glory holes. They go to the person next door. This one goes to the bathroom. So I just, so I don't got to get up to go to the bathroom.
Nice.
He just pees in the wall, man. It smells terrible in there. Haven't you noticed?
Oh, it does, doesn't it? All right, guys. With that, we're out of here. Everybody, we're going to be back in here a few more times this week. I don't know what that's going to consist of yet, but we will let you know because I got SafePrep all week and we have a studio, so we're going to do some things. Yeah.
Well, and then I know you're going to be back Friday with the Beans and Weenies show. Hopefully, Scooter and Spanky don't have a last-minute cancellation.
They will. You know how it goes, Eric.
but I know you three have a really good time, and then and I'm sure Jake and Alexa and a couple other friends of the It's Doomsday podcast will show up and keep you guys some company and have a nice laugh or two or more.
Sounds nice, but I'm not watching that show. Just kidding.
All right, guys, that's it.
Look forward to you doing a regular show next week and some impromptu shows in the meantime.
Gotcha. Will do, Eric. All right, we're going to catch all you later. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Jake, you have a great night, man. I'll see you later on Clapper.
Bye, everybody.
You have a wonderful night. See you guys.
Just want to let that train play.
Oh, God. Am I next?
Whose train is that?
I just want you all to know that I love you so much.
I was going to say, did that just derailed?
Oh, shit, it's coming for him.
Oh, right. That sounds like the horn of a vinyl chloride car. I love my wife and my kids and nobody else. Everything sucks. And I just want to go out knowing that everybody knows I was a little rebel at heart.
I love you, Jake. We'll see all you guys later. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.